What is up, Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And on today's episode, we will be talking about what actually is normal. Like, what should normal digestion look like? And by normal, I mean healthy, optimal, not what is normal in today's day and age. And not what is normal to you, what you should actually be striving for. And the reason I want to talk about this is whenever I start with new clients and I ask them, how's your digestion and sleep? Like, oh yeah, it's good, it's fine. And then I dig in and it's like, yeah, I'm waking up 3 times throughout the night. I feel really tired when I wake up. I get bloated every day. And it's like, oh, that might be normal for you, but that is not normal. And that should not be, we should not settle for that. But before we jump in, just wanted to say thank you for listening. If you've been enjoying the show, if you could share the show, rate the show, subscribe to the podcast, that just helps me help more people. Because it helps me get in front of more people, which helps me help more people, which is the goal of this show. So anyway, thank you for being here and listening. So I was just going to basically go through the biofeedback that I rate or have my clients rate on their weekly check-in forms, because this will kind of help you understand and learn what you should actually be looking for and paying attention to. And if you've been gaslit by a doctor or by other people in your life saying it's totally fine and normal, hopefully this will make you feel a little less crazy and give you a reason to continue to seek out guidance and search and strive to figure out what's going on in your body, to get healthy, to feel good, to be optimal. Because it sucks when you're not optimal. It sucks when you feel like crap all the time. It sucks when you're tired and groggy and bloated and gassy and everybody's saying, well, it's normal. What did you eat? Oh, well, you can't eat these foods. It's like, no, that's not really normal. So anyway, let's dig in. So, I'm going to be talking about sleep, hunger, recovery, energy, digestion, stress, and libido, because all of those are really good indicators of signs that something's going on. And maybe these are things you don't pay attention to, but listening to them, you will start to pay attention to them. So first off, sleep. You should not be waking up in the middle of the night every night. That is not normal. It might be common, but that's not how our bodies are supposed to work. So if you're waking up throughout the night, that could be for a myriad of things. It could be because you're maybe not having enough carbs. Maybe your progesterone's really low due to too much stress. Maybe you're not actually, maybe you have an obstructed airway. Maybe you have sleep apnea. Maybe you have a deviated septum. Maybe you have allergies in the summer, which causes your nose to clog up and wake you up. Maybe you're super stressed and you're waking up in the middle of the night with thoughts racing. This has happened to me many times. The low progesterone has happened to me this past year because of the mold. Well, the mold on top of being in a diet when I didn't know I was having mold exposure. Yeah. So what actually is normal? What should you be striving for? You should be able to sleep 7 to 9 hours a night straight. Not waking up and feeling well rested. Feeling well rested when you wake up. And if you feel exhausted when you wake up, that might not be a sleep problem. That might be another problem. And I've talked about my husband a lot. He's been on here. He's talked about his story, but he feels exhausted every morning when he wakes up. And it's not because he's not getting good quality sleep. It's because his body is working overtime, trying to detoxify all the crap and toxins and mold that's in his body. So sleep, really good indicator of something else going on. And like I said, even like with hormones, if you're entering perimenopause and all of a sudden your sleep sucks, progesterone might be really low, and that just happens when you enter menopause. Your all of your hormones drop and cortisol rises. So if your sleep sucks, probably need some progesterone. And then usually too, people just drink too much water close to bedtime, and that can cause waking up in the middle of the night and other things, which that's an easy thing to fix. So anyway, normal sleep, sleeping 7+ hours straight, and being able to wake up well rested and ready to take on the day. Hunger. And if sleep changes and you're in a bulk or you're in a deficit, that is a sign to get out of them. If your sleep all of a sudden sucks, get out of whatever body composition change you're in and go back to maintenance and let your body recover and get restful sleep. Hunger. And that's why I wanted to touch on that, because hunger at maintenance, you probably shouldn't be hungry, especially if you're eating well-balanced meals throughout the day, you're eating enough calories, and you're not overtraining, and you're not overly stressed, and your meals are balanced. So they have a carb, a protein, a fat, and a fiber source to keep your blood sugar levels stable. Because spikes and dips in blood sugar, while our bodies can handle it if you're healthy, that tends to stimulate appetite. Because a dip in blood sugar will cause a dip in energy, and your body's like, eat more food. So if you're eating about 3 to 5 balanced meals throughout the day and you're hitting your maintenance calorie range, you should not be hungry. You should not be starving. If you are, then you might need more calories. And if you're overly stuffed, but this signal, if you've been chronically dieting for a long time, this signal will not really be indicative of what your body actually needs. So that's a little caveat there. And then going into specific like periodized nutrition phasing, if you're in a surplus, you will feel overly stuffed. At maintenance, you shouldn't feel like you're stuffing your face unless you're eating like cauliflower florets, like by the pound. But in a bulk, you will feel overly stuffed because you're trying to change your body and your body doesn't want to change. So it's going to be really uncomfortable. In a cut, you will be hungry. And that's also normal. I'm sorry, I'm tired today, guys. That's also normal, but that's okay. As long as you're not ravenous. If you're slightly hungry, that's part of it, because you're consuming less calories than your body's burning, which is allowing you to lose body fat. So keep that in mind. It's normal to feel like that when you're in a fat loss phase. But there's hacks for that I've talked about before, like just eating more fiber than you usually do, swapping like starchy carbs for like rice, for like potatoes, and bread and pasta for like potatoes, and vegetables like broccoli, using rice, cauliflower, and with some white rice, so you get more volume and you feel a little bit more full. So those are some little hacks. I might just not be intaking enough oxygen. I'm really not that tired. Anyway, so that's what's kind of normal for hunger. And as I said, if you've been eating very low calories for a long time, your body will hijack the signal and make you not hungry because it's trying to adapt to what you're doing and trying to make you feel more comfortable. So that's when you're trying to increase calories, if you haven't for a long time, you're not going to feel very comfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to be hungry. You're going to feel stuffed. That's okay. That's part of the process. And eventually your body will adapt and you won't feel stuffed. You'll feel perfect and you'll have more energy and you'll feel better. So anyway, and that leads us to the next one, recovery. So what is normal for recovery? If you're training and you're doing a new training program, you will probably be a little sore for the first week or two, maybe a couple days after. But if you're overly sore to where you can't sit down, you can't go to the bathroom, I've been there, you can't walk, I think I talked about this when I went on that hike and I just didn't have any water or food, and it was like 8 miles with 2,700 feet, almost 3,000 feet of elevation gain and like 4 miles uphill. It was 8 mile total. I was sore for over a week. That's because I wasn't prepared and I didn't plan and I didn't have food. So that was my fault, right? That was an indicator that something's off. But normal recovery, 1 to 2 days. If you're sore all the time, red flag: nutrition, sleep, stress, training volume, probably too high. There's something else going on, because that is not normal and you should not settle for that. That's a key indicator that you need to change something. But if you're never sore, you might not be pushing the intensity enough. You will be a little bit sore if you're training and you're training intensely. It's just part of the process. But again, if it hurts to do normal things, that means you pushed it way too far. Energy. So natural cycle of energy. There should be a little bit of a spike in the morning, and as the day goes on, that energy should slowly drop down until it's bedtime and you're ready to just pass out and go to sleep. But there's a lot of people that have dysregulated energy pattern because their cortisol rhythm is dysregulated for Lord knows what. It could be a whole slew of different things. My husband has that. That's because he's moldy. It's a little bit better now that we're married and he's living with me, and he kind of sticks to my routine for the most part. Not forced, kind of sometimes forced. He gets still a spike of energy in the evenings, and I'm like, it's bedtime. It's time for us to go to sleep. And he's not always on board, but he does it anyway. Happy wife, happy life, right? Yeah, you should slowly over the course of the day get tired. You shouldn't have an energy dip in the afternoon. That could be a key indicator of just training too high of intensity, not enough fuel, not enough recovery. Maybe your lunch wasn't super well balanced and you had a blood sugar spike and dip. Maybe you're overly stressed, and by mid-afternoon, your body's just like, give me a nap, please, because I have had that many times. So ideally, spike in the morning and slowly as the day goes on, decrease. And that's kind of what it should be. So if it's not, key sign to dig in a little bit could be meal timing, could be meal composition, could be training intensity and training volume. It could be a hormonal issue that could be caused from being moldy. Could be a GI issue, gut health issue that could just have been stemmed from who knows what. And the cool part about these biofeedbacks is when you're measuring them all together, it kind of helps you better pinpoint what the problem could be. So anyway, digestion is next. So what is normal digestion? If you're eating between probably, I'd say 1,800 to almost 3,000 calories a day, you should have 1 to 2 bowel movements a day, every single day. And they should be, look up the Bristol stool chart. I guess I can describe it, but but your stool should be like a log shaped form. It shouldn't be urgent. It should be complete. Most of the food should be broken down to where you can't identify whole food pieces in there. And so 3 or 4 on the Bristol stool chart. Shouldn't be urgent. Your body's natural circadian rhythm also affects your digestion. So, which is why when you travel, a lot of women, we travel, we have a lot of digestive issues. I do. I get really backed up. I guess probably TMI, but it's because your circadian rhythm is shifted. Traveling is physically stressful, where the blood flows away from the digestive tract, which slows things down, slows down the motility. Usually being in a different environment can be challenging to go to the bathroom too. But anyway, digestion. So, and it should be about the same time every single day. Because, like I said, like normal circadian rhythm. And if it's not, that's a key indicator that could be something else going on. Usually it's a stress thing for like bowel movement timing, or a food thing for urgency. But if you have mold toxicity or something like that, that can affect and hijack your whole system to where that looks very different, even if foods haven't changed, which is very crazy. But that's a good indicator. If you haven't changed food, stress levels are the same, and all of a sudden you're having weird digestive issues, could be some other stealth infection going on. I feel like that one's pretty straightforward. But if you're, I will say, if you're in a bulk and you're eating a surplus of calories and you're a big dude who can eat like 3,500 calories a day, you're probably going to have 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. If you're an athlete eating closer to 4,000 plus calories, you will have multiple bowel movements throughout the day, and that's normal because you're eating way more food than most people do, and that's okay. In a cut, you might have less bowel movements because you're eating less food, and that's also normal and okay. So yeah, that's normal digestion. And then stress. So what is normal to everybody is kind of different for this one, but the biggest thing to pay attention to is how resilient are you? Like overall stress levels, if you're feeling very, very overwhelmed for stuff that wasn't as overwhelming as it was before, like you're doing less stuff and you're just feeling like it's harder to get that stuff done, that could be an indicator that there's something else going on. Like for me, this past year, since we moved into our house, my cycle irregularities have been just crazy. Like I have been more stressed and had a regular cycle even after my loss of it for 6 years or however long it was. But this past like year since living here, even like life stressors that, you know, are fairly stressful, sure, but I'm not feeling as stressed by them. That is impacting my hormonal health. And that's because of the stealth infection, the mold that is in my body that my body's trying to detox. It's like, we don't have enough energy to reproduce, so you're not going to have a cycle, and we're going to leverage that energy to detox mold. So if you're less resilient than you were before to the same stressors, could be something else going on. So it's something to pay attention to. And as we age, right, that's going to change. Our hormones are going to change. Cortisol elevates. Progesterone, estrogen, testosterone decrease as women. As men, testosterone does decrease as you age, and cortisol rises a little bit as well. But a lot more drastic for women. So that will change. But the cool thing is you can improve your resiliency by training, by eating primarily whole foods diet, improving your body composition, and just having more better stress management techniques and having better sleep quality, prioritizing yourself and saying no to things and giving yourself rest, which kind of being more proactive about stress management. But anyway, those are just tips and tricks, but monitoring your stress levels and kind of looking back on other stressful times that you've had. Are you more resilient now, or are these small issues more taxing on you than they've been before? And then libido is the last one. And this is really, really important. Not everybody's libido is the same. Just everybody has different levels of sex drive, and that's totally normal. But to not have a sex drive at all is not normal. And that's a key indicator that there is something else going on. And if you're in a cut and all of a sudden you have no libido, it's time to get out of that cut. And some of these other issues can impact libido too, right? If you're having gas all the time or you're bloated, I guess that goes back to digestion. You should not be bloated every day. That's not normal. That's a sign there's something else going on. I didn't dig into that as much. I just kind of talked about bowel movements, but that's not normal. Acid reflux isn't normal. Burping all the time isn't normal. Yeah, so that's not normal. But if you're bloated, right, you're probably not going to want to, have sex. I mean, I don't when I'm bloated. Like that sounds terrible. It's embarrassing. Like you don't feel comfortable, right? So some of these other things can impact it. But if you notice you just have no drive at all, like that's a red flag that something is going on and that needs to be addressed. So that's why I ask. I don't ask because I don't really want to dig into that with my clients. I just want to know, like, hey, is this worse than it usually is in like a normal state? And especially if we're in a fat loss phase and we notice that libido just tanks, time to get out of that. Time to get out of that phase. But anyway, hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this helps you kind of dig in and kind of pinpoint like what could be improved. And if you've been gaslit by doctors or friends, family members or whatever saying, well, that's normal, don't even worry about it. Well, it's not. It's not normal and it's okay. You're not crazy. If you have questions about these, I can help. I've helped a lot of clients through a lot of different health challenges, from moldiness to you name it, digestive issues, bloating, severe cramping, reflux, autoimmune conditions, and skin issues. I can help. And if a doctor's telling you that you're crazy and there's nothing you can do and you have to be on a drug, red flag. So if you want any extra insight, you can just book a discovery call. I'll help you out and let you know, like, hey, this actually is like a problem. And I can help with that. And if I can't, I will refer you out. I stay within my scope. I am not a doctor. I am a functional health and fitness coach. So within my scope is lifestyle, training, nutrition, supplementation, dietary changes, stress management, sleep, all that stuff. And I partner with Rise. So it's a wellness and hormone replacement therapy clinic. So if I can't help you with something, I can actually go on calls with you and make sure that you're getting the help that you need from a medical professional who's not going to gaslight you. And they're actually really good. I've been on a couple calls with clients. I've been very, very impressed. So anyway, I can help and I'd be more than happy to help. In fact, I'd be honored to help. This is my purpose, is to help people navigate their health and fitness challenges, because I've been through everything except for menopause and pregnancy, but God willing, we'll go through those someday if I live long enough. So anyway, if this has been at all helpful, if you could rate the show, share the show, subscribe to the podcast. And if you want some help, just hit me up on Instagram or book a consultation. I'd be more than happy to. Anyway, that is all for today. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.